Hey, what the fuck you talking about?
Okay.
What the fuck is you talking about?
You the community out.
Oh, I'm baby at, man. Yeah, what these doing fuck dick sucker coming?
Police pull up.
Fuck on. Alright, cool. Let the cars come. Just don't let them people come back no more. I ain't gonna even say Cincinnati, nigga. This Lincoln Heights.
I don't know the reference there. So
Yeah, yeah.
okay, solutionaries. There's a lot to unpack there. I want to give a robust breakdown of that. This is a community checkpoint after the neo-Nazis showed up to like bother people and like name call and ad hominem and call people the N-word. I'm only saying the N-word because this is on social media and, you know, the algorithms trip about that word. But y'all get the point. First and foremost, that destroys the narrative that if people have guns that happen to be melanated, somehow if the police show up, they're going to just get out and shoot everybody. I am so sick and tired of that fucking narrative. And has it happened at certain points in time? Absolutely. But overall, generally, when you are public and honest about, I live in a certain community, but I'm also in support of the Second Amendment, there is not this like fearmonger tactic of like, oh, the police are going to kill you. Even with the work that we've done with Black Guns Matter, we've shifted that narrative. This is a textbook example of the police pulling up going, hey, we see you guys are protesting, exercising your Second Amendment rights. We're going to have some other cars come through, and nothing happened. As should. As it usually does. Okay? So that's the first thing that I want to address there. Let's kill that narrative that because you black, you shouldn't have a gun. Because that's what it really is. It's the psyop to keep people in a victim state of thought that if I exercise my Second Amendment rights, like this magical boogeyman gonna show up and kill me every single time. Now, again, I have tremendous levels of disrespect for law enforcement officers that don't understand the Constitution and the Second Amendment being the supreme law of the land as it relates to firearms ownership. I've been very clear about that. There are some officers that are dickheads, absolutely. But to shift an entire narrative that if you get a gun and if the police know, they're going to run down on you, that's just false. And I'm never going to be in alignment with feeding that false narrative. And this is a good example of destroying that. So that's the first take. Now, this is a checkpoint. This is one of the most sloppy checkpoints that I've ever saw in my life. From a tactical standpoint, you got to know and learn what checkpoints mean. Now, did they call it a checkpoint? No, maybe. I don't know. But if it's positioned as if it's a checkpoint, there's things that I would add to those folks over there in Lincoln Heights or Cincinnati, because the brother said it ain't even Cincinnati, it's Lincoln Heights. Cool. I would make myself available to them to teach them what checkpoints are and how you run a checkpoint. With that being said, I'm still not going to act like those folks have to have military grade training and the government had to give them a class for them to exercise their Second Amendment rights. I'm not going to do that. There was no negligent discharge. There was no muzzle discipline issues. The police were there. Nobody pointed a fire. You understand? Nobody got shot. So these are things that another narrative that we got to destroy. That somehow, even if you don't know everything about firearms ownership, that somehow you can't do it and you can't exercise your Second Amendment rights and patrol your community. I don't think there's anything wrong with patrolling your community, especially when there's people showing up that intend to destroy your community. That's literally what a community watch is. Or there's people that show up that would deliberately try to terrorize your community. Okay? Because that's what the neo-Nazis is. Whether they real, whether they the feds, whether with all of that, that's a whole different conversation. Again, the video prior of them on a bridge trying to antagonize people. What's up? What's going on, nigger? What's going on, nigger? Like, it comes out of like some comic book type shit. But nonetheless, you have the right to patrol your community armed. And that does not mean that you had to have passed a class that the government said you got to pass this class and so forth and so on. That's another narrative that I'm glad this video destroys. Now, there's two things to this Nazi show up that I want to address. Now, some of y'all are going to completely disagree with this part, okay? I'll give y'all the veggies first, and then I'll give y'all some fruit out of these last two, and then I'll land my plane. I'm not going nowhere with some fucking Nazis is because they have the freedom of speech to show up and be as retarded as they want to be. Okay? As an understanding imminent threat instructor, we give a class that shows folks how to understand what an imminent potential threat is and how to avoid it. 8 or 9 goofballs showing up with fucking masks on and flags, and as people are riding by saying the N-word to them is not something that I individually would ever want to be a part of. I don't give a fuck about this psyop that is there to create chaos. I just don't. I don't go into places that I think I might even have to take my gun. Me individually. And that's what I suggest to all of our students. Solutionaryuniversity.org. Take the Understanding Imminent Threat class. My point in saying that is, I personally am not going there to be a show of force. Each individual has the right to arm themselves. And if you run down on one of them cars and put that person in an imminent threat scenario because they're black, and if they happen to fucking shoot you, that's on you. But I try to stay away from areas where I know there's going to be tension and all that other type of shit. That does not mean that I'm saying that these people have to follow that same playbook. The freedom of speech that these troglodytes have is the freedom of speech to say whatever they want and believe in whatever they want and wave whatever retarded flags they want to wave. It's just what it is. So me individually, I wouldn't show up to that. I'm not a fan of too many marches and symbolic gestures. I'm just not a fan of that. However, if there's a belief in your community that you think that these people are going to come here and pose a threat, you get to actually patrol your community. Nazis included. Whoever doesn't like that, I can understand. I might not do it, but I understand why people would. Because you guys are literally showing up to say, we're going to terrorize them, right? And you might be met with extreme prejudice. It's just what it is. And lastly, the second thing, y'all are also going to disagree with this. Some of you will. Some of you won't. Where the fuck is that energy in the patrolling of the communities when black people kill fucking black people? Okay? Y'all was riding with me. All of you pro-black dudes was riding with me until I said that. Maj, you gotta understand. I do understand. I understand that this performative psyop with masks and matching uniforms and matching flags that is called the neo-Nazis is the thing that got you to symbolically gesture and jump out there because it's like, we're going to protect the community. Keep that same fucking energy for when people are killing each other in the community, okay? Patrol those communities from just regular rapists or irregular weirdo fucking rapists, right? Patrol the community and make this a consistent thing, not just this one thing when the cameras happen to show up. See, I'm not a fan of that shit either. Black Guns Matter is designed to make sure that these communities, all communities, understand the Second Amendment. We focus on the area where that conversation has been left out the most, the black community, right? But that does not mean it's just for show. When the cameras show up or something go viral on the internet, now you want to show up with your fucking Draco with no sling, right? No checkpoint, okay? This is where I'm going to be critical of that same movement. Okay, we give champions and we give challenges as well as critiques. So I'm going to be very critical right here of that. I need that to be a consistent thing. And then we could get behind it fully. Do not wait for when the fake ass neo-Nazis show up that ain't going to do shit but talk words to then you show up in symbolic gesture and all of those different things. It's just symbolism on top of symbolism with very little substance, but it's still you reacting to what some weirdos did in the first place. The solutionary-based thing is we're going to make sure that our community is safe from any type of terror. Robbers, rapists, unjustified killers, any of the like. That's what needs to happen overall. But I don't know. Maybe y'all think, Maj, you don't understand. The system is out to get us. Maj, you just being a race baiter because you okay with them bringing the guns out. See, I'm going to make both sides upset, and that's how you know you're doing it right. Whatever you believe in that, comment below. If you get something right and stump me, I will give you your kudos and agree with you. But if you get it wrong, expect some pushback from me in the comment section. Also, go over to solutionaryuniversity.org, sign up for a Understanding Imminent Threat class or Firearms Basics class. Saw too many Dracos, saw not enough slings, saw not enough information. And as your brother, my job is to say, hey, we got to get better in that space. Not attack you for doing it or say you shouldn't do it, but here's how we can refine how it's done. We have online classes at solutionaryuniversity.org, or sign up for a Solutionary 9 premium membership where you get access to all of the classes, all of the drills, everything. Either way, we want you to get informed. My name is Maj Toure, the founder of Solutionary University. Hope to see you in a class soon. Be safe, be solutionary.